I was told to ask you, Richie, about a story involving yourself, Cha Fitzpatrick, and John Tennyson. Probably around 2008, you might have got yourselves in a little bit of bother.
Yeah, no, I've told this story before, Shane. I never mentioned the two names, so now you're after doing it for me. But
you just edit that bit out, please. Thank you.
I suppose. Look, it was a Saturday night, probably. The lads would tell me it was 2 weeks before we played Cork in the All-Ireland semi-final, but I'm convinced it was 3 weeks. And we went down to Cha's home house down in Knockmylan, Luke's Well, down between Ballahale and Mullavat. It's very kind of secluded spot, and there's a pub there, Reed's Pub in Luke's Well. And we were sitting around, and we kind of said, look, we'll tip down to Luke's Well for 2 pints. And 3 of us went down and kind of met a bit of riffraff below, and 2 turned into 4, and then we weighed up the pros and cons of heading into Waterford for another few, and I suppose lo and behold we ended up in Waterford that night, and we met Richie O'Neill, who unfortunately was out injured with a cruciate at the time. So Richie kind of whispers in our ear anyway that there's a big house party going on back in Kilmacow. So 3 boys after having a fill of it decided, right, we'll finish off the night, and so it was about 6:30 in the morning we finishing up in Kilmacow. So that was grand. We went home Sunday morning, and I went back to Dublin. I was working in Dublin at the time and travelling down to train on Tuesday night, and I was heading out past the Puchy and still, and I get a phone call off Cha, and it was just, what was it, 3 or 4 words. He said, "We were caught." And I'll talk to you at train. And I was like, grand. So heading down, I was kind of in my own head saying, what are we going to do or say? So as it turned out, the 2 boys didn't train. Tenno had a dead leg, Cha was something wrong, and I was the only fool that trained, and the shit was ran out of us. But I was kind of in my own head thinking, right, if I get into the dressing room quickly, shower, change, and get out before Brian and them get in off the field, he won't have a chance to kind of say anything. So I did that. First one in, I'd say, was record time to shower and change and get dressed, and tiptoeing out the door, past Brian always sat on the right-hand side of the door on the way out. And I was kind of looking the other way, walking out the door, and he just calls me, "Richie, I want to have a word with you." So I knew what we were in for anyway. And so the 3 of us were brought in with Mick Dempsey, Martin Fogarty, and sat down. And obviously Cha was captain the same year. And I've no problem in saying, only for Cha was with me and Tenno, we would never have worn a Kilkenny jersey again. So sitting down, and the question was asked. I went to Cha first and just kind of said, "Cha, what are you doing? You're the captain. We're going for 3 in a row. You're in such a privileged position." And Cha killed me now, but he's in China, so it's grand. But he turns to Brian and he said, "Jesus, Brian," he said, "like, if I wasn't hurling county," he said, "I'd be an alcoholic." And myself and Tennyson looked at each other and pissed our holes laughing. Mick Dempsey was standing over us and gave us the look, so we shut up. And Brian turns to me and he said, "Well, Cha, if you want to be an alcoholic," he said, "fuck off and be one." So that was grand. And the same night, actually, Robbie Lodge, who was the physio, was coming back in to give Tenno the ice machine for his dead leg. And he came in, and he saw 3 bags outside the door, Power, Tennyson, Fitzpatrick. I was talking to Robbie a couple of weeks after, and he said to me, "That was one dressing room I wasn't going into," he said, when he saw the 3 names. So, that was our run-in, all right. And we went out 3 weeks later, and I was taken off after 20 minutes. I was useless. So it didn't really go well.
Well, I'm glad I dropped you in it there as well. Yeah, sorry about that, Richie. For more exclusive content, go to patreon.com/OurGame.